Just like everyone expected, Kentucky went down to Arkansas and without a point guard, got a win over Arkansas in the regular season finale, winning on the road 88-79 with a casual day from Antonio Reeves leading the way when he had 37 points to carry the Wildcats. He's a big part of the reason they were able to escape Fayetteville with a win, and we're all here to celebrate. I say we're expecting it, but let's be honest, Jack and Zach, not many of us really saw that one coming. But how are we feeling right now, Jack? I will start with you after the Cats got the big win heading into Nashville using a very thin roster.
I am on top of the world. I am unbelievably excited about how this unfolded for the Kentucky Wildcats. I'm getting some feedback, so I don't know if we can get that fixed. All right, we good? All right, perfect. Okay.
You sound lovely to me.
Good. Well, I am unbelievably ecstatic. A game that I was not expecting. Antonio Reeves goes out there and explodes for 37 points on 12 of 17 shooting, 11 for 11 from the free throw line. Kentucky didn't have a point guard, and the biggest gripe about Antonio Reeves was if he was going to be a point guard, it would be taking the ball out of his hands and putting him in position to kind of be a playmaker and a facilitator and kind of take away what he does best as a point guard or as a pure scorer. And so to see him do that on this stage as his own creator for himself while knocking down shots, while distributing for others, I mean, unbelievable effort for him, a career high, and I think is the highest point total for a Kentucky Wildcat since I believe Malik Monk, 47 in Las Vegas against UNC. Unbelievable effort for him to come in the role that he had to carry on. Unbelievable, and I'm shocked. I'm absolutely shocked at this performance.
Yeah, Reeves is the talking point with that career day, 37 points. But let's not overlook Jacob Toppin having 21 points, including two, I think what Calipari would call dagger shots in the second half, one with about 8 minutes to go to stretch Kentucky's lead to 8 when Arkansas was kind of making a game out of it. And then again, about 3 or 4 minutes later, stretch it out to about 6. Big shots from Toppin. He also was great at the line, missed one free throw. Zach, in a game where you don't have Wallace and then Frederick, who did help you with some minutes but didn't offer much in scoring. I mean, Toppin got back to where he was before the Vandy game when he snapped a streak of double-digit scoring.
Yeah, you had to have a big game from Jacob today just with how limped Kentucky was heading into this one. So his first half wasn't that great, but on the second half, after Jack Pilgrim's wife started talking crap about Jacob is when Toppin really started to pick it up himself. Finished with 21 points, I think 4 rebounds, 3 assists, hit those daggers, like you said. Something about Jacob Toppin when there's like 2 seconds on the shot clock, his threes are just going in. I feel like he's hit those at least 3 or 4 times on the season now. But especially with Oscar dealing with a lot of foul trouble, even ended up fouling out. I guess we'll probably talk about this, but Oscar probably should have gotten ejected at some point in this game and didn't. He threw 2 solid elbows. Like the first one, I mean, he was going for it. It reminded me of, I don't know if you'll remember when Meta World Peace elbowed Harden and left a dent in the back of his head. That was kind of the vibe that I was getting on that one. But luckily, Oscar stayed in. He still ended up with a double-double, fouled out with about 5 minutes left. But again, you had Jacob and Antonio Reeves just coming in and playing out of their minds. That was the best game Antonio's ever played in his college career. His previous high was 35 points against Valparaiso, or 34. So to come out and drop 37 on a road game like that, final regular season game, to go for 37 points, missing no free throws, hitting the toughest floaters I've ever seen the guys shoot. Just a very clutch performance from Antonio Reeves and Jacob especially. Just all things considered, it was probably the most improbable win, even more improbable than that Tennessee win, I would say, earlier in the season. So, yeah, like Jack, I don't kind of lost for words when it happened. I didn't really believe they were going to pull that off by any means. But 2 guys really, really stepped up when Kentucky needed it the most. And Jacob, remember last game, put that loss on himself. I'd say we can put the win on him and Antonio in this one.
Yeah, so we've got those 2 guys combining for 58 points. Oscar had his double-double before he fouled out. But then I also liked the other 2 starters. You had Frederick and Livingston. Neither of them could score. Frederick missed his 2 3-point tries. Livingston, poor guy, missed everything he threw up. But Frederick, 4 assists in a game where you don't have a point guard and only playing 15 minutes. And then Livingston really crashed the boards to get 9 rebounds. Like I said, he was 0 for something enormous. But, Calipari always talks about if you're not shooting, find something else to do. I thought it was big of him. And rebounding, Livingston with his 9 and then Oscar getting, I think, like 13, Jack. that was one of the big things they wanted to do in addition to hitting free throws on the checklist for this game.
You bring up CJ Frederick and the impact that he made. In a game that Antonio Reeves goes for 37 points, the most impactful player belt that is handed out after every game went to none other than CJ Frederick, who scored 2 points on just 2 free throws, but like you said, 4 assists. Kentucky does not win this game if CJ doesn't play. And I was told leading up to this game, it was a game time decision. If this were really any other circumstance or scenario, CJ was not going to play. He was in excruciating pain. He took an elbow in his cracked rib against Vanderbilt at home on Wednesday, and has been in excruciating pain basically all week leading up to basically tip off and beyond. For him to gut it out there for 15 minutes, Cal said that he was going to play 5 minutes in the first half, 5 in the second half. Basically, whatever he can give us, we're going to take it, because again, Kentucky had no ball handlers, no facilitators, no playmakers. So you needed that extra body just to give that extra, push to the finish line for everybody else. And goodness gracious, CJ just willed it out there. So unbelievable effort for them. He's a warrior, and I know he gets a lot of crap for being injury prone and some of the stuff that he deals with. But Kentucky does not win this game if CJ isn't healthy or isn't available in this one.
Since we've kind of gone player by player, I'll quickly shout out the bench. They played well. Adu Thiero with a lot of good minutes, had the putback dunk. Damian Collins somehow fouled out very quickly in his reserve role. Lance Ware with some big minutes. So good stuff from them helping out the starters. But next, I just want to bring up what the heck was in the water in Fayetteville, because everyone was fighting and elbowing and arguing. The crowd's booing injured players, and sometimes the officials needed to be booed. But it just seemed like mayhem down there, Zach. And you were supposed to be down there. It all got started when your flight got canceled. So the mayhem started with you at 1 a.m. last night when you got that alert. So what was up with that atmosphere? I know you weren't down there, but you saw what we all saw from home on CBS.
Yeah, I guess I'm glad I didn't go down, because maybe I would have messed up the juju. So I was perfectly fine with it. But 52 total fouls in this game, 26 between both teams. This game took about 2.5 hours to finish. 3 technicals given out. I believe a flagrant as well on Oscar with his second elbow. You even had Devontae Davis getting thrown out of the game for just being ridiculous. I don't know why Arkansas's coaches or players didn't try and get him under control. He was just begging to get ejected. He's throwing hands and stuff. When you throw your fists in the air after a bad call, you're going to get hit with a tech every time. It was just very, very physical game. I think Arkansas knew that was kind of how they were going to have to deal with things, because they missed every single layup. They were 2 for 20 on layups. So I feel like once they realized that shots weren't falling for them, their decision was just to try and get dirty, not necessarily dirty, but be as physical as possible, pound down low. And that's why it was nice to have guys like Lance and Adu come in, even though they didn't play the best. They provided enough physicality to kind of back off their other guys. And obviously Kentucky was dealing with a lot of foul trouble too. So just having them come in and bang down low with some of Arkansas's big guys, and Arkansas's guards didn't seem like they were the ones that were even ready for the physicalness, and they were the ones kind of trying to initiate it. Like I said, 2 for 20 on layups. Like, they just could not get anything to fall there. Felt like they were just kind of a step too slow on all of those, and just a little bit too short on all of their shot attempts down low there. So yeah, a very physical game. Wish I could have been down there, but yeah, Delta like to cancel my flight. That was a great email to get at 1 a.m. Couldn't scramble enough to figure out another way to get down there, but I got to watch it from KS Bar with a bunch of Big Blue Nation members. So I don't know if there was a better, way to make up for that than being surrounded by all my loved ones here at Jack Pilgrim.
2 for 20. I'm glad you mentioned that stat. Kentucky's defense was great. There was a stretch in the second half where Arkansas got nothing. If you're Arkansas, I think that's what I'm pointing at first when I'm frustrated, is that they couldn't get anything around the basket. Before we go, Jack, let's talk big picture. This clinched the 3 seed at the SEC Tournament, so we get to avoid the dreaded Thursday game. Tennessee lost at Auburn, so that would have helped anyway, but it didn't matter because Kentucky did their part to get the win. That's big. Do we know anything on Cason Wallace's status, and how are we feeling as we're just a few days out from driving down to Nashville and getting in Bridgestone Arena?
Yeah, I think that's the best part of all of this, is the fact that the whole point was to get Cason healthy, just to get by. It didn't matter how this game unfolded. Just make sure that you get Cason Wallace healthy. So for them to go down and steal this win down in Fayetteville, on top of adding basically a week worth of health for Kaysen. It's unbelievable. And yeah, the plan is for Kaysen to play in the SEC tournament, and for him to just get an extra day. And obviously, it would have been okay had he had to play Thursday, but giving him that extra day to Friday, give the whole team, CJ some time to rest. Everybody has tired legs at this point in the year. Antonio Reeves, he hasn't dealt with any injuries, but he's been playing a ton of minutes for a long, long period of time, basically all season long. So I love that you get an extra day. It gives us some time to, have a breather down in Nashville before getting things rolling again on Friday. So, you were able to steal a win down there, another quad one opportunity. You were able to get that one. It depends on what happens with Vandy and Auburn and Michigan, a couple other quad ones. But Kentucky's resume now looks unbelievable considering where things were 3 weeks ago. And so for them to secure the number 3 down in Nashville, start Friday night, I'm ready to roll. I'm as confident as I've been. I couldn't tell you how long.
I'm just so happy. I thought they were going to get smoked. I put a lot of money on Arkansas, let's be honest. I'm so glad that money's gone. It's money. It'll come back. We'll find more eventually. I'm so happy they won that game without having guards. Your bench stepped up. Reeves is on fire. Put his hands on Cole and keep them hot for Nashville. Just such a great win for Kentucky to finish the season, get some confidence behind them. As Jack just said, it was a day you got to rest Case Wallace. So we're moving on. I'm going to finish working, maybe go get some margaritas tonight in Lexington. Zach, you got big plans? Where are we partying? The regular season is behind us. We got to work first, but, it's a day game. We got time.
Well, Roush had recommended that I visit some sort of Walmart museum down in Arkansas on Sunday if I were to still be down there. So I'm not now, obviously. So maybe I'll just go to a regular Walmart and envision myself being there, tour it around. But otherwise, I'm just going to sit back and enjoy it. This is perfect. My house didn't get destroyed by any wind or anything yesterday, so I feel like I'm actually, despite my plane getting canceled, I'm on the top of the world right now. So I just think let's ride. SEC Tournament champs. Let's go for it.
Well, Big Blue Nation is on top of the world right now, and it gets serious. The regular season is behind them, and it's on to Nashville. And the postseason, we'll have plenty more on KSR throughout the day, tomorrow, and on into Nashville and beyond. Hit subscribe while you're here on the KSR YouTube channel. But for Drew, Jack, and Zach, we'll say goodbye. Go Cats. We beat Arkansas to end the regular season. It's a good time to be a Kentucky fan.